Hi all, so today we're going to dive into a very short but inspiring video featuring the one and only Steve Jobs. I'll break down the vocabulary, pronunciation, expressions, phrasal verbs so that you can apply all these knowledge at your workspace and level up your communication and business English. So without further ado, let's get cracking.
The thing I would say is,
I'm gonna stop here because right at the start he throws in the school phrase. The thing I would say is, and it's a great way to politely introduce your ideas so that you don't come across as too strong. So in a working environment, you can say something like, the thing I would say is, if we incorporate this new software, it can really help us streamline lots of business processes. This phrase is even so cool, you can use it with your friends in a conversational English. So for example, imagine they want to learn more about programming, but they kind of on the fence, they're not sure where to start. So that you can say something like, the thing I would say is begin with HTML and CSS and just go from there, okay? Now let's break down the pronunciation. The sounds like the, it's short. The thing I would say is would, it's also very short, so it's would, not would, would. Say is, connection here. The thing I would say is pretty easy. Okay, let's move on.
when you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world. Try not to bash into the walls too much. Try to have a nice family life. Have fun. Save a little money.
Okay, I'm gonna pause right here. When you grow up, there is connection here, more stress on this part. When you grow up, you tend to get told. You tend to get told. There's also a little bit of connection. When you grow up, you tend to get. Here is a little bit of a stop, so this D even can be silenced. So you tend to get told. Okay, when you grow up, you tend to get told. Okay, and you can use it for your storytelling, because right now what Steve Jobs is doing, he tells a story so that his message is more impactful, and this is exactly what you can do and should be doing if you want to be an influencer at your workspace. You know, if you want your messages to be more impactful. So the structure here is when you A, you B, and that B is in a passive voice. So here are a couple of examples. Okay, so when you grow up, you tend to get told. When you start a new job, you tend to get support from more senior colleagues. When you travel abroad, you tend to be exposed to more cultures and perspectives. So you can leverage this structure again to begin your storytelling. What does it mean? Tend to is the same as often or most of the time. The world is the way it is. So what does it mean? Something is the way it is. So I would say be careful using this phrase in a work environment, because it's some sort of a negative phrase. You kind of acknowledge that things are out of your control and you cannot really do much. So the world is the way it is means like you cannot do anything, you cannot change it. But what you can do, and what I encourage you to do, is to follow up with something positive. Okay, let me give you an example. So we all wish we had a bigger budget, but it is the way it is. Let's work with what we have and make the best of it. Okay, so you see what I did now? I followed up with something positive, let's make the most of it. Let's make the best of it. Let's work with what we have and make the best of it. Now I'm sort of I come across as a person with a positive attitude that despite all the setbacks and obstacles, I still keep a positive attitude. And people love that, and your boss will love that, rather than just say, oh, the things are the way it is. We cannot do anything. Well, it's not really useful, and nobody want to work with a person like that. So always, if you follow up with something positive, you will come across as a more positive person, and you're kind of becoming a hero. You're influencing people and encouraging to keep going. So I think this skill is very important, and it's very hard. It's very easy to be snappy about the job, and to be honest, things are not gonna go the way you would like, not always. So there's gonna be obstacles. So try to keep a positive attitude at all times. That's my recommendation. Okay, that the world is the way it is. World, so it's not, there is no O here, okay? It's world, that the, same thing, that the, and there's connection here, that the world is the way it is, that the world is the way, connection here, is the way it is. So he's American, so he connects it. This T sounds like a D. So way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world. Try not to bash into the walls too much. Try to have a nice family life. Have fun. Save a little money. Okay, and we stop here. Okay, let me highlight a couple of words I want to break down. So I think your life is just to live your life inside the world. Try not to, okay, what is bash into the walls? Okay, basically, bash is the same as hit. You hit the wall. You bash into the walls, you hit the walls, and the whole thing, bash into the walls, means to encounter obstacles or setbacks. So you can, at your work, you can ask for help, so your colleague for help. For example, oh, could you really help me with this? I feel like I've been bashing into the walls the whole morning and I still can't understand this thing. So could you please help me? So I think that's a great phrase. Inside the world, try not to bash into the walls too much. Try to have a nice family life, have fun. Okay, let's break down the pronunciation now. So your life is just to, so there's connection here, just to live your life. So here, your life sounds like your life. Your life is just to, again, Z here. Your life is just to live your life inside the, connection here, the, inside the world. More emphasis here. Inside the world. Again, world. Try not to bash into the walls too much. Try to have a nice, sorry, okay, so to, where's pencil? So to sounds like t, have a, connection here, have a, like one word, have a nice family life, no E here. So family, this is intonation here, so it goes up and down, family. Try to have a nice family life, have fun, save a little money. Actually, let's break down the intonation here. Try to have a nice family life. How do I draw it? So it goes up. Try to have, let me try a different color. Okay, let's go for green. Okay, family life. Have a nice. Have a nice family life. Have fun. Save a little money. Da 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 da. Again, rising intonation here. Save a little money. Save a connection here. Little. So D here again because it's American English. Little money. So let's try the whole thing. Your life is just to live your life inside the world. Try not to bash into the walls too much. Try to have a nice family life. Have fun. Save a little money. Okay, that's the whole thing. Now, I want you to pay attention to something, to this part. Your life, and then the entire thing here. I think this is the part that a lot of English students miss. So pay attention to the structure. Your life is to live your life. How on earth, when you think about it, how on earth you explain a noun, which is your life, using a verb and a bunch of other words? Okay, this was called nominal. Okay, so all this group here, it acts as a noun, and this noun is your life. So this is your life. This is quite an advanced example. Let me try to explain what I'm trying to say here. What you said is true. Okay? Now, what you said, now this part acts as a noun. It's a noun, literally. What you said is true. Because I can change it to this and say, this is true. What you said is true. Your point is true. Your statement is true. Okay? Or my dream is to travel around the world. Okay? And I really encourage you to try and practice it yourself. Try to take something simple, okay, like what you said is true. My dream is to travel the world. You're explaining, instead of just, here's the point. Instead of just saying, your life is good, your life is difficult, your life is challenging, your life is exciting. But once you realize that you actually can express your, what is your life, what is your, any concepts in a more detailed way, this will allow you to elaborate a lot more. This will allow you to give more context and come across as a more interesting person. Sometimes you can say, my life is my family, but you can also say, my life is to play with my children and put a smile on their face every single day. Practice with something simple. My best decision was to travel to San Francisco, where I met my wife, for example. Okay, so that's another example. Always, always. Now that this is a very powerful concept. Once you realize that you can actually wrap words, a bunch of words, I know, nouns, verbs, adjectives, whatever you want, and they, in this wrapper, they mean a noun. They can be expressed as a noun. It really helps you to, it like opens a lot of doors for creativity and give more context to people you're talking with. Sometimes you wanna, and quite often you want to keep stuff very simple so that other people understand you. But sometimes, especially in a conversational sort of situation, you do want to give a little bit of a context, give people a little bit, share a little bit more, and this is perfect for this. So practice with something simple. And then move to examples like Steve Jobs did. Your life is to just live your life, you know. Okay, let's move on.
But life, that's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you.
Right, let's stop here. But life, again, let me draw an intonation here. So, but life, da da, but life. That's a very, okay, connection here, linking. That's and this a, it sounds like That's a very intonation. So very up and down. Very. That's a very limited life. Limited life. Limited. Da da da. Limited life. Life can be, okay. Can. When you speak fast, it actually sounds like can. Again, it's very short. Can be. That's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is, okay, and that, well, first of all, no D here and connection here, and that is some sort of a D here, and that is everything. Let's change the color. So everything around you that you call life was, okay, very short sound here, was, and this is Z, was made up, connection here, more stress here on the up, made up by people, long E sound, people that were no smarter than you. This is N, than you, and connection here, than you. Okay, let's try again. But life, that's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. Okay, why he used no smarter instead of standard grammar not smarter? And the reason is that by saying no smarter, he shares a strong point. It sounds more motivational. It's more, you put more emphasis on it. Here are a couple of examples. This project is tough, but there is no task that you cannot do. Okay, it's more motivational. No task that you cannot do. Okay, or there is no skill that you can't learn without putting time and effort. There is no skill that you can't learn. Okay, so again, more emphasis. Using standard grammar sometimes can be boring, you know, but when you sort of spice things up a little bit, it's more about this sort of melody impact, so you can feel it, like people that were no smarter than you. That's a very, very important point here.
And you can change it. You can influence it. You can build your own things that other people can use.
Let's stop here. And you can, so again, and, you don't need and, so it's just, and you can, again, can, very short, can, and you can and you can change it. Change it. Connection here. Change it. You can again, you can influence it. Connection here. Influence it. You can build your so it's not your, it's your own connection here, your own things that other people can use you use. So let's try the whole thing again. And you can change it, you can influence it, you can build your connection here to build your own things that other people can use. Right. Change it and influence it is the same thing. If you influence something, you're changing it in one way or another. If you influence somebody, you make that person want to do something. Okay, so that's the general definition of influence.
And the minute that you understand that you can poke life and actually something will, if you push in, something will pop out the other side, that you can change it, you can mold it.
And the minute that you understand that you can poke life and actually, again, no D here, and actually, something will, if you, so this really short, if you, and connection, if you push in, again, every time we have a phrasal verbs, most of the time we connect them and we put stress on the preposition. So if you push in, something will pop out. Okay, same thing, pop out the other here, because this is a vowel, we have a long E. The other, not the other, the other side, more stress here, the other side, that you can change it. You can change, you can mold it. I think there is it missing, but okay. Right, let's see. Okay, poke. What is poke and why I laughed? Because you don't want to poke life, but poking is you poke with your finger or you poke with an object to get someone's attention. So you're poking, hey, give me, can you pass me an ice cream, please? So you poke to ask, get someone's attention. Right, okay. Now, phrasal verbs, my favorite. I really encourage you, instead of trying to memorize phrasal verbs, and the thing with phrasal verbs is that you're not gonna memorize them all. If you try to memorize them and you stop using it, or you're never using it, you use it, so you're just gonna forget them. Instead, what I suggest is try breaking them down, and in this way, you not only memorize them better because you put more effort, but you also will start to understand the logic behind phrasal verbs. Let's see. So, push in. Okay, so what is push? To push is to apply force or pressure to an object to move it away from you, or to move it into a certain position. Okay, what is in? In is it's a movement towards the inside of something. Okay, movement towards the inside of something. When you put those together, what do you have? You apply force to something to move it into inside of something else. A great example of it is to think about drawers. So if I just go here, if I just drawer. Okay, so this is a drawer and you push it inside of the cabinet. So that's the basic logic. Think about that. This is what push in means. I'm pushing this drawer inside the cabinet. Okay, think about like this. This is what push in means. Okay, right. Now the other stuff, pop out. So pop is when you pop a balloon, you burst it or explode it. So to pop means to burst or explode. In phrasal verbs, pop also means to appear suddenly. Okay, like pop in, pop over to my house, or he popped up at the party, nobody expected it, that thing. Out, again, is also movement, as in, you see there are some common things here starting to appear. Out is also a movement, but outside, away from the inside of something else, away from that. Okay, so when you put this together, suddenly just something suddenly comes out of something else. Okay, comes out from the inside of something else. So you can see that you push in, and I think Jobs also showed that with his body language if you watch it one more time. So you push something and something on the other side pops out. So this is basically the logic. You push something in, something pops out. So you're poking the life. Right. So hopefully this approach will help you to memorize phrasal verbs better, and I guarantee you're gonna understand them a lot better. In your life, in English environment, in business English, anywhere, you're gonna come across words, especially phrasal verbs, that you haven't heard before. But if you try and practice that, because you sort of keep your brain flexible, and you see the start to noticing common things here and there, you highly likely will be able to actually understand a phrasal verb without looking it up in the vocabulary. So I think that's quite important. So try to break it down. Give it a go. You won't regret it, I promise. Right. What is molded? Basically molded, and there's connection here, molded. By molding, it's taking something and changing the shape of it as you like. So you change something and you shape it into any desired form. Okay. Right. Let's move on.
That's maybe the most important thing, is to shake off this erroneous notion that life is there and you're just going to live in it.
That's maybe the most important thing. This T is T very weak here. That's maybe the most important so intonation here, important thing, downward intonation. That's maybe the most important thing, is to shake off. Okay, lots of linking here. Ta. So again, ta, very short sound. Ta is to shake off. Connection here, linking again, more focus on the preposition. Shake off this erroneous notion that life is there. You can actually, the Z sound is very strong, so you can cancel TH. TH usually is a very weak sound. So is there, and you're just gonna live in there. Again, we cancel the D because N is stronger than D, and this whole word is you're is there, and you're, and no D, and you're just gonna adjust without T. Just gonna, again, this is short as well. Just gonna live in it. Live in it. So there's lots of connection, lots of cancellation, sound cancellation. So is there, and you're just gonna live in it. Okay, that the life is there, and you're just gonna live in it. Your life is there, and you're just gonna live in it. Your life is there, and you're just gonna live in it. Your life is there, and you're just gonna live in it. Okay, practice it. Lots of cancellation, lots of reduction, and things like that. So for a non-native speaker, it might actually sound a bit fast because a lot of things are going on. You know, English is a strange language where what you see, it's not exactly what it sounds like. So it's there, and you're just gonna live in it. Okay. What is erroneous notion? Erroneous means false. Notion is belief. Notion is idea as well. Erroneous, basically wrong, inaccurate, not correct. So basically in this concept is false belief. So life is this understanding of life is not correct. It's not just it's there and you're just going to live in it. It's not, it is what it is. The thing that he said at the very beginning. Okay.
Versus embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it.
Okay, we'll stop here. So versus means as opposed to. In contrast, in contrast to, or opposed to. So opposed to what he just said versus embrace it. Okay, lots of linking here. I love linking. Come on. Well, do you? Embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it, make your mark, your mark upon it. Okay, versus embrace it. Embrace means where's my highlight? Embrace means embrace means accept. So accept it. Embrace the new norm. Embrace the changes. Embrace the challenge. Bite the bullet. Versus embrace it, change it, improve it. So every time he makes this statement, the intonation goes down. Embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it. What is it to make your mark upon it? Is to make something noticeable, to make something important.
I think that's very important. And however you learn that, once you learn it, you'll want to change life and make it better, because it's kind of messed up in a lot of ways.
Okay, let's stop here. I think that's very important. That's very important. I think that's very important. Important. Okay, let's play with intonation here. Important. Stress on O. Very. Stress on very. Very. I think that's very. That's very. That's very. That's very. I think that's very important. That's very important. I think that's very important. And actually, because here you have D here, because he took more time to think about it. But if it's something fast, that's very important. And however you learn it, okay. But if you think about it, like, I think that's very important. And so you think, okay. However you learn that connection here, and you have strong N here, so it cancels this TH, because again, N is a lot stronger than TH. Naturally, just kind of reduces that TH. Learn that. Learn that. I'm not saying learn that, even though it's correct, but when you say it fast, learn that. Learn that. However you learn it, once you learn it, one word, learn it, you'll want to change life and make it better. Because it's not because, he actually says because it's kind of, we cancel this D, no D here, and of, there is no F. So the whole thing, this, let me just highlight it. This whole thing is, sounds like, it sounds like kinda. It's kinda. Right, okay. It's kinda messed up. Again, messed up connection here. So not messed up, messed up. In a lot of ways. Oh my god, lots of linking here again. In a lot of ways. Ways. In a lot. This T sounds like a D again. In a lot of, again, no F here. In a lot of ways. It's kinda messed up in a lot of ways. It's kinda messed up in a lot of ways. It's kinda messed up in a lot of ways. It's kinda messed up in a lot of ways. Right, and the sentence is kinda messed up in a lot of ways. Right, okay. Change life and make it better. So I think that's very important. And however, okay, however, what does it mean by however? However is basically, in whatever way you learn it, it doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter how you learn it. It actually matters what you learn. Okay, what was the lesson that you learned, rather than the path that you took to learn it. It doesn't matter. So however, doesn't matter how you learn it. Once you learn it, you'll wanna, okay, this is you'll wanna, and it's not want to, it's just, I hope you can read this, you'll wanna change life and make it, connection here, make it better. How do you say that in American English? Better, a little bit of a D, better. You'll want to change life and make it better, because it's kind of messed up in a lot of ways. Right. Now, one thing I want you to pay attention to, something again. Why he says learn that, and here he says learn it. Think about it. However you learn that, once you learn it, so yeah, learn that and learn it. What's the difference? So when you say learn that, he actually makes a reference to that lesson he shared previously, you know, that embrace the life, you can actually change it, you're smarter, you know, the world was built by smart people that were no smarter than you. This is that. Once you learn that, he simply referencing it to the past thing that he said. And then once you learn it, now because he established this connection, he can now use it, because generally it can be anything. And if you're using a lot of it and you don't use that and this, maybe some of your colleagues or people you speak with, they might actually have a clear understanding what you're talking about. So always try to establish that connection with what you've said. So because it can mean anything, and only now, because once you learn that reference to the past, what I've just said, once you learn it, okay, once you learn what I just explained, you'll want to change life and make it better, because it's kind of messed up in a lot of ways. Okay, and now we're going for our final sentence.
Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again.
Okay, once you learn that, you'll never be the same again. Beautiful. Once you learn that, so again, connection here, N is stronger than TH, so we cancel the TH. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again. Same again, same again, same again. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again. Beautiful. Okay, I think we've finished here. I think we're done here. We broke down, look at this, how many things, just 1.5 minute video. I'm not sure how long was the recording. I hope it's not too long. So if you stay till the end, thank you so much. The only thing I want to say, and it's not subscribe to my channel and like it, of course you do, but the thing that I want to say is that this video was recorded a long time ago, and Steve Jobs at that point, he used storytelling. He could have said this whole thing in just 1 or 2 sentences, but he took us on a journey. He started with a fact, when you grow up, so that we reference to it, and the whole thing, this fuss or all this story was just to make it more, to amplify, to influence us. Because you can say things, and oftentimes you probably at your workplace, you just repeated the same thing over and over again, and still nobody gets you for some reason. Is because it's hard to impact and influence people. They say like, oh yeah, I understand you, but you know that, well, you actually don't understand me at the moment, because I can see it. 30 years ago, at that point, Steve Jobs already been using storytelling. So, and storytelling is still relevant till these days, maybe even more relevant. So I encourage you to start playing around with it, try playing with different structures. This is how, you don't need to have perfect English, but if you know how to tell great stories that inspire people, you will be golden. So I wish you good luck, practice it, and I really hope you find this video helpful. Thanks so much and have a great day.